Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utze. It's Q3 of the Champions League, the lower round of three. Phoam from Portugal versus Kithara from Japan. Phoam lost in the first round versus Nice Dicer and then was able to beat both the Alchemist, current silver medalist of the in-person World Championship, and King Maori after that one in lower round 2. Kithara was able to beat a 71st quite convincingly at that. Lost then versus the other favorite of this group, MTU, who marched on into the final, which will take place tomorrow. And had the force on his side versus Lord Trooper in a lower round 2 to end up over here versus Foam, and should definitely be considered the favorite today. Foam, not yet a master, although a good player for sure. Played strong matches so far. Kithara, on the other hand, let me quickly show you, is a master, perennially member of a lot of very strong Japanese teams winning WTCOC titles multiple times also rated at 800 plus, top rating 830, maybe even 840. Let's check, have they already started? They have, so I won't check now. Let's just hop into the game. So Kithara should be the favorite in this match, but one might never know how it ends up. First advantage goes to Foam, starting player in the first game. Would translate into being starting player in the third one as well, if it comes to that. Also takes the first city, and all moves mirrored so far, both with road monasteries. And another one for yellow here. Looks very nice in the beginning. And Foam, well, it takes the road. I'm just waiting for the first farmer to be dropped here with this field here. 2 cities, third one in the making, and many fields to expand it. Has to have huge potential. And here we go. There's the first one. Oh, might drop the second now, or maybe even like this. Else he could also opt to try and contain this farmer on the right side by killing the square. It would be an interesting choice. Oh, I still have to reset this here, so now the remaining tiles are added up. Yeah, okay, he goes for the left option just to continue with monastery building and maybe attack the city once he puts anything there. So definitely a great start for yellow in this one. But nothing that Kithara can't overcome yet. Just needs to unite these city parts. Now Ukraine's the monasteries by adding this city piece there. So yellow can't liberate these monks without at least adding one piece to blue city, which he now does. And blue quite likely will close their city either on the left or bottom end. Maybe going for the left one exert some pressure on yellow's monasteries, at least stick a road in there so they can't use monasteries anymore, as both roaded ones are gone. Yeah, annoying obstruction, as is usually the case with the quadruple city. And Kithara might just start a new city, maybe even over here. In that case, at least if yellow were to go for a block, you could immediately defend. Hey, Glovier. Ooh. Ooh. Shiny. That's exactly why I like watching Kithara's games. Decisions like that. Restricting this square. No monastery possible anymore. And if yellow wants to get their monk back and have a chance at liberating the second monk, they again would have to support blue's city, which they are unlikely to do. But at least this mini battle here binds 2 of yellow's meeples versus 1 from blue, and might give blue a temporary meeple advantage once they are able to continue with their city. No, once they might close the city, as long as this situation persists, at least it would give blue the chance for a equalish score, although they need to boost this city / ruin by a lot to counter these monasteries. Okay, and now the very promising looking field gets more or less shut off in the top half and on the left side as well. But it's actually not a big threat for blue, so they don't need to go here, especially not because this would give a chance to yellow to attack their city. I might... it wouldn't surprise me if blue were to play this one. Even this one here wouldn't surprise me, actually. But I honestly have no clue which move blue will take. Okay, they go for the protection of their city. Yeah, frankly, no move was great for them. Yeah, so I would have liked this one to then continue over here with Doritos and just leave this thing as dumping ground for unwieldy tiles later on. Let's see what Glovier says. Oh, it's not Glovier, it's Pantelis. Hi, Pantelis. Yeah, sounds fine. So his idea is rather this one. Then if yellow wants their monks back, they'd have to close blue city. And on the other hand, yellow wouldn't mind using a Dorito there to liberate the lower monk, and might not even shy away from uniting the city parts of blue, for example, the horse, and get the second one back. Then you could act against this square, maybe this one as well. Yeah, sounds fine. And that's actually why I like having folks in the chat, and of course having co-hosts as well, especially if they are two-time world champions. I mean, there are two folks on this earth having won more than one world championship in Carcassonne. So always great to have one in the chat or as co-host. Who's the favorite to win? Well, just look at the ELO ratings. With a spread of almost 200, the favorite should be pretty clear. It's Kithara. Yeah. Even though, again, phoam is in good shape, played in good games in the earlier rounds, and it's still Carcassonne, so even if he only has, I don't know, 30-35% chance of winning one game, there is a chance to win this one, definitely, and there is a chance to win a match, even against a very strong player like Kithara. And for now, this looks at least okay, but blue has threats. One now is at least mitigated by yellow. I wouldn't call it taken care of, because there's still a splitter left. And if blue runs away with this city uncontested, this just could be enough in a close game like this. But phoam has threats as well. Just score additional 5 points to take the lead again after yellow takes these 2/3 of a 6-point loop road. Also protects their city up top from invasion from the top right. There's still this route available, and as long as there are two open fields like there, two open spaces, if needs must, the splitter as well. Yellow nicely took away the easy 6-point loop road from blue. Leaving this empty is, of course, the way to go if you only have one in hand and already need the road end anyway. Oh, maybe even two. Although in this case, if yellow were to get the rows, I would put them on taking these 3 points instead of 2 over here. Phoam. Well, might lose a mini battle, but 4 points are 4 points. Also, if blue does anything over here, they'd threaten their road. So if, for example, blue does something like that, well, let's take a straight. This here could be threatened. Kithara just continues with their city. Looks like they get all the big pieces they need. Although these two were placed there by yellow. Now limit this square to the two remaining daggers. Yeah, it definitely is dangerous. If this gets closed, we are talking about additional 15, 16 points. With this scoreboard, lead of 10, 12 could be really significant and might not be that easy to overcome for yellow. So blue threatens to close their city over here with the remaining splitter. Yellow immediately prevents this option, but no matter which piece yellow will use later on, and it's very likely they at least get one of 4 Doritos or one of the 2 remaining horses, there will be a chance for blue to immediately counter and re-attack the city. So it's not a given that yellow connects here. This will depend on the circumstances then. So they might just opt to expand their side of the city. Blue's part is worth 7, so just add 2 shielded tiles here and you're almost there without the threat of losing this whole thing here for 24, 26 points. Yep. So yellow goes for the threat here. Quadruple city is gone. Any Dorito big city tile from the top would immediately kill this. And given there are still 3 triple city tiles left, blue just took the 4 points, restricted their city to a 50-50 as the 3 cows are gone. And then, just got the right piece at the right time. So this city is dead and not a threat anymore, which is great news for yellow. They harass blue's road, which was the feature blue, or is the feature blue hopes for to get a second meeple. Needs must. This here could also be filled to liberate the monk, but would come with more road points to yellow, and you'd rather prevent giving your opponents anything when it's this close. But the second meeple for anyone quite likely will end up on this newly created 9-point field up top. Yeah, blue goes hunting for another yellow scalp, threatening this one. All starting tiles are gone. So any city piece from the top would immediately kill this, but there aren't many left. This Dorito and a few daggers to block here. And therefore, yellow doesn't go for any sort of half defense. Instead, they just take their monks back at the cost of adding 3 points to blue. So it's a -1 point move, 3 to blue, 2 to yellow. But it gives you the crucial meeple advantage. And blue, of course, takes the field immediately. Is that the best move? Asked Juan. Well, that's the question here. The problem are these roads, and blue's road is definitely easier to liberate than yellow's. And the side who would have gotten the second meeple first would have been the side to claim this field and get a huge advantage. The problem with this here is it was very likely for blue to immediately take the field. I think there was only one piece to not do so. The Dorito. With this, it wouldn't have been possible to claim the field. And I'm not sure blue would have taken that option. Anything else for sure would have landed over here, or in a best case, even here, to take away this immediate re-attacking option. So it's tricky. If you don't go here, maybe protect your road, but you'd rather want to close this immediately and not waste any moves on that. And with only one meeple hand, you can't even meeple this cap, as it might get restricted from the left, and so on. And therefore, I think taking the meeples back, having more stuff to fight, being able then to connect here and possibly re-attack as well. Oops, sorry. I think this is okay and might even be the best move. So the problem about this one is that the attack here is way worse than it than from this point, as there are no triple city tiles left. So any attack like this could be blocked with the Dorito from the right, or not just the Dorito, but a cap with a field part to the left as well, as there are no field Doritos left. All 5 are already gone. Last one is in Foam's hand. So I don't think it's likely Foam will attack here. This might just end up in a lost meeple for 1 point in the end. And with only -6 points, but a meeple more in hand, there should be other options to consider. For example, something like that, even though you'd rather want to attack from here to have a better chance. But we'll see. Yep. I think you meant this invasion here, Juan, right? Yeah. And he goes for it. Now he's at -3. Still options to continue this road and close it. There are even Hail Mary options of a field attack over here, but with the makeup of this stack, it's rather likely to be blocked immediately. Although the 5 after this move 4 straights could help you. But we are not there yet. We are not in Hail Mary territory, but we are definitely in field takeover territory, plus getting a 4-point loop. Definitely not happy with Kithara's move here. I don't think it was necessary to create this rather risky situation with all these crossroads and road Doritos out there. It was very likely for yellow to be able to execute in this attack. If successful, this nets 9 plus 6 plus 4, 19 points difference for yellow. And there was absolutely no need to take these 2 points there. He could have just waited for yellow to connect and then re-attack. And now it's blue scrambling. Sure, takes a few points. Yellow gets their road meeple out of the pickle there. This is at 12 points and tied for now with these two farmers. There are some outside chances to attack it. Again, the ninja, there's also a way more creative option like this here. Attacking through the dagger, but you need to draw the crossroad first, and hopefully when there are still 2 daggers available, else it would just be 50-50 at best. Yeah, and yeah, exactly, Otto. So instead of this here, I mean, I talked about 2 points, but the option just to add a second farmer there was present as well. Now he's down 13 with another meeple. Oh, by the way, there's of course another attack, and quite frankly, Kithara has to go for it, right? Still 2 roses left, and it's that simple to execute. Why not? No chance to connect here directly. There are outside chances for this route. Nah. Preventing your opponent from getting their meeple back. Well, there are still 5 caps out there to take quick point styles. But I don't think when you're down like this, this move is the one to go for when you have this chance. But maybe I'm too antsy here. Don't think I am, but Otto, what do you think about this field attack instead of the blocking move on the right side or restricting move? Frankly, what does anyone in the chat think about this move? Does asking Otto be no, because I know he has an opinion, and he's definitely not afraid to voice it. And now, do you go for the city? Not just creating an option to take a few points, but also another field attack, or do you just go here, at least having the 50-50 plus some additional options if yellow doesn't immediately restrict the square to the same curve you need here anyway? Yeah, you're right. There are better tiles to make the same move. curve crossroad, because then you have the aforementioned attack via the dagger. I mean, I sketched this earlier on, talked about this one here, but didn't talk about the two roses. Just missed it. Yeah, exactly. And there's also this city here to be taken. But not when you don't have a meeple to spare. And with this attack, at least the upside of taking road points or city points while also going for this field is gone, as blue won't get a meeple back. Yellow doesn't do anything about this option. They could have limited this to, again, the curve blue already needs. But even if blue connects up top, it's still just 9 points, and they are down 14 after scoring this road. So still some points to score, and I think it might even be necessary for yellow to close this one here, take the 2 points, but eliminate the option to attack the field. And then you might force blue into the Hail Mary city attack at the bottom left. A city, by the way, that could still be closed like this. And if that were to happen, would be the game deciding feature if anyone manages to add a second meeple into the city. But he goes for the approach of keeping both at 1 meeple, just to not give blue better chances at multiple attacks. So blue has to decide down the road whether to attack here or attack the city. They can't do both with only 1 meeple, of course. But I really don't like leaving this cap there when at the same time you could have just killed the cap. I mean, come on. Why this one doesn't make sense unless, well, it's 1 point for blue. Nonetheless, this here would be 0 points for blue. Even if it's on your field, but it's not your field for sure. There's still this option. Yeah, right. It was the last dagger. Okay. Then this was indeed a good chance to attack the city. And now it was also the last chance to attack the city. And then yellow does this. Taking this 2-point city, hoping to draw the one and only remaining dagger. So a straight up 50-50 shot. At least unblockable, but but it should be enough, frankly. They are at plus 18. Blue connects up top for 12 and needs to outscore yellow's 1 meeple with 3 moves left to the tune of 6 points. Well, there is a 5-point road over here to be grabbed with the curve. Might even go for it now and hope to draw the crossroad to score another 3 points. There's still this possible city. Yeah, he goes for the road, but foam draws the curve. Even if he goes here, there'd still be the ninja available, so might even opt to self-block just to prevent the ninja. So ninja with Dorito or Rose going over here, connecting with the remaining dagger. Blue needs it anyway, just to prevent yellow from closing their city. So it's +4. The field is 12. Let's consider this one and then +5. If you lose the field -7, you get 3 points for this road. If blue connects here, -4. And the Doritos have shields, so you'd score at least 4 over there and then only need 1 point to be added to your road or your city. Yeah, I think this would have been okay. And I also think that blue will go for this ninja now. Unless someone sees a better option. I don't. Yep, he goes for it. And that's the problem. Yellow takes the city, and we are flipping for the dagger. Which goes to yellow. And saves their bacon. If tiles were reversed, blue would have won this by 2 points. They don't even care about this one. So I think this here would have been the precise move for yellow or the self-block. This here does nothing. Either you secure the field, so blue can't take it, or you continue the road, then blue would have needed to add this there and extend your road by 5 points. And I think yellow would have chances to survive a successful field attack, which was not the case in this permutation, in this with this option here. Oh, you mean the diamond? Yeah, this looks nice. Right. Let's see if foam adds wrong tile. Foam adds this one. He either gets the remaining Dorito to close this one. In that case, yellow invades the field successfully, and foam takes the other Dorito to close the city for 12 points. Yeah, sounds like that would have been the winning move. over there. So 2 misses by Foam in this game, yet he still won. We'll see if Kithara manages to turn the tables on him in the second. For now, it looks great for blue. Did he have 2 meeples in hand? Then yes, plus a farmer. I thought he had only the one. Okay. Time management might have also been an issue for yellow in the first one. Nonetheless, definitely an interesting game overall and especially in the end. Yeah, right. Yeah, Otto is right. So if Kithara manages to get the dagger on the right side to connect to the field, of course, he closes yellow's road, which gives yellow a meeple in hand to add as farmer next to their diamond city. So the city would have been worth 12 plus 3, which definitely would have been enough for yellow. So they missed a good chance there to secure a win. And not just rely on the 50-50. It worked in this case. It just won't every time. So another one to cover in a video. I'm thinking you're wrong there, Rui. The way Foam played wasn't 100% win. Okay. You might be onto something there, Otto. Let's check this out after the match. If time permits, which should be. Although after the match, you won't be there anymore, right? Or you might not be there anymore. Nonetheless, let's see. So, obstruction by yellow against blue's monastery. I think it was yellow at least. No, it was blue. So the obstruction at the bottom, also blue. No, this here's blue's. This was yellow's splitter. But for now, this farmer was a bit stuck, but it's likely that this one gets closed immediately even, and now this is looking really healthy. And blue quite likely, when they close their city on the left side, will add a farmer to attack the main field. There are already 3 field Doritos gone, so continuation like that is not in the cards for blue. Both splitters gone as well. So he has to do something else there. The question is when MTU. After Kithara's field attack, and after Phoam had taken the city up top. I think he was still at +8, and only the right. I neglected the 2 points for the road and getting the meeple back. You're right, folks. The field connection would have been 12 points, adding 2 points for the road, the 8 points which he already had, plus more points for his last tile and the meeple on it. Yeah, so 100% win for Phoam before the last two tiles. Yeah. Yeah, then the question would be if Otto's idea for Kithara would have even worked, actually. Sounds unlikely. So yellow's monastery is killed. Blue takes another one. And even though 3 Fioriters were gone, Kithara just drew the remaining 2, closed this city, getting 4 of them and using them all for 1 city. That's rather unlikely. But of course, nice for those who managed to pull this off. And the bad news for yellow, they had hoped to at least get one of them to close this city, and now need to use cow over there if they want to have any shot at closing this. But of course, a cow would be an invitation to blue to attack this again. Though there might be a point in the future where yellow just needs to risk this option. And as long as that's the case, blue very likely won't do anything about it. All they could do would be giving yellow the chance to secure their city. So they might use a horse. Especially if there's no option of immediate taking points. Going over here doesn't really help, as it's the last horse. Could be blocked from the left immediately. He takes the open city cap. Sounds fine to me. Quick points for both. Road, another road, and a city. And blue even gets to liberate their city, which wasn't restricted enough by yellow. Sure, they reduced the caps to close this one, took away all the city plus field tiles, but never did anything on the left side to restrict this to a 50-50, which would have been the case as there's only one dagger left. This takes away a few options from a possible field attack from up top. But as long as there are still 4 crossroads left, that's not really a big limitation. If you can't threaten the kill by adding any road piece from the bottom as the quadruple crossroad is gone, might force blue to think about another option. And now that crossroad 5 and 6 are out of the deck, this here doesn't look as promising anymore. But there would be still this one here. And as usual, a ninja later on. But for now, it doesn't even look like blue needs to do anything about the field as long as it doesn't grow out of proportion. It's at 12 points. This might get closed. We'll see. But blue has a slight lead of 2 points. Also, meeple majority now gets 1 back. Might even take the city, as you really don't want to see your opponent snatching this one up. So just exchange the monk for the city meeple, score 4 points in the process, and be happy. Extend your lead to 6. And also looking fine in Kithara land, even if this immediately gets killed. Phoam might take away this option, also adding these 2 caps on their field. There is still 1 twin cap available. Instead, he opts to directly attack blue's not very threatening looking city at the expense of leaving this open city cap, which indirectly creates a juicy 6 to 9 point field for very likely blue to take when there is only 1 Dorito left in the game. I wouldn't consider this to be the optimal move in this case. Rather this one here, that looks better. The downside is you don't have a meeple in hand, and it's not likely for you to get any meeple back soon. So the juicy city caps are not worth as much as they usually are when they are on your field and you have a meeple in hand. So yellow needs the road Dorito ASAP. Else they might go for this move. This might be or these two options seem to be their only chances of winning this game. They are down. Blue has meeples in hand. Blue takes the field for 6, is now up by 10 points. Yeah, doesn't really look great for yellow. Still don't like the twin cap move there. Might have been too hasty. Meanwhile, as it's looking like we'll get a decider here, I could add the next match, which is Loose Goose Bobondi, to the scoreboard. Let's just check. It's Q2 Group F. And they are in the lower semifinals. And what does Kithara do with the curve? What does he need to prevent? What does he need to do? There's not a lot he could have prevented. He could have restricted one of these caps to 50-50. But at +10, still options to close this one. Why not go for it, right? So 3 points to yellow instead of 7. One cow to blue. Only one cow left and only one city cap. So, well, there are still chances for yellow to go for this. In the case of using the cow here, there are at least these 2 extenders, which blue couldn't use to do anything about this situation here. But there's the second cow. The city is dead. Only chance for yellow to get a meeple back is the Dorito, but even that Dorito doesn't matter anymore. This wouldn't score them any points. In fact, it would be a -1 point move, equalizing 1 city point against 3 city points, but giving 3 field points to blue. So we'll get a decider here, and Kithara even gets the Dorito. Yep. So until this move here, it looked like yellow still had a chance to win this one. After this, I think if we had a graph for winning chances this year, was I don't know, from 35% to 15, 10 maybe. I really don't like this one. And it turns out that was the fatal move here. Even though this one came afterwards, but if you don't take this field then and there, blue will take it on their next move anyway. So yeah, why not just add this one over here, or frankly execute this move but keep the meeple in hand, let blue just close the city if you can't prevent it with another tile without investing a meeple there. Maybe hope to draw a cow and thwart their city. But the attack was one nail in Foam's coffin in this game. Yeah, well, it's not over, Juan. Tile lost. Yep. Horse discarded. So Foam's starting player advantage is gone. Both will have, unless there will be another discard, an equal number of moves, which then is to the advantage of the player going last, which should be blue. Again, unless another piece might be discarded later on. And the start looks to favor blue as well. They went for an early farmer here. Why there? Good question, Otto. I don't know. This is a bug, right? I mean, if you can place a rotorito, there was an option. Oh no, not necessarily, because the rotorito was placed here, but this road piece was in the open, right? Yeah. Vanilla and then the monastery. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, skip move. The same thing we witnessed on your stream yesterday. Okay, then it makes sense. So this monastery was placed on yellow's second turn. So they went for the vanilla, then blue's monastery, then yellow's monastery. This road end wasn't open anymore. And the horse couldn't be placed, but of course the Dorito fit there. Don't ask me. Yeah, now it definitely makes sense. Yeah, exactly what Juan mentions. Yeah, Matt, I think you've got it now. And what Juan mentions was a sequence of moves on Otto stream yesterday, where one player had a horse in hand, but then placed a rose because the interface just didn't show them placing the horse and their opponent placing something else, and then player A again having the rose in hand and placing this one. It just skipped 2 moves. In this here, I think this might have been... No, we witnessed this one, right? But I never saw this, so it might just have skipped the 1 move. Don't ask me. I'll check after if there's already a bug report present. If not, the good news is we have this on video, so it's rather easy to point them to this one. In the end, if it just affects us as viewers, It's at least tolerable. It would be worse if players didn't notice that their opponent already had done the move and just wait for them while their clock's ticking down, which has also happened more than once in these last weeks. So something might definitely be up here. Might be time to check when the code of Carcassonne was changed the last time. If this even has to do something with the Carcassonne code or if it's a general problem. I mean, I don't really watch other games and I haven't noticed problems like this in other games. But I noticed with the server outages, there were problems for Azul as well, where tiles were skipped and stuff like that. So it might be a general problem. Yep, exactly. So then this monastery, of course, makes sense with this one already being present there. But with the next one, yellow took the spot I had in mind. And now let's focus on the game. I hope we won't encounter any more problems. So yellow city is limited to 2 remaining right-handed daggers. They self-invaded, which is problematic in this configuration. So, but they still continue, as else they might have run into problems by blue obstructing them from the bottom, maybe even trying to kill this. Their city on the right side is under fire and will now quite likely be killed. Not? Okay. Blue prefers to take the immediate points, as the city is added to their field and they don't perceive this one here to be a threat. It's not right now. Yeah, do you just kill this? Threaten to close your city? Or do you do something over? Nah, you don't with the splitter left. Okay, it takes this route just to still be able to add a monastery here later. And it works out nicely. But will he go there? Or will he drop the splitter on his field? Maybe even create 2 fields? Scoring 3 cities for both, with the possibility of connecting if needed. Okay, he goes up top, but doesn't go for the monastery option. Leaves 2 vanillas to close this one. Yep, just like Otto asked for. The one downside is you might use the vanillas here then instead to close your city, or might need them there. But if you just draw a cat that fits up top, this works perfectly for blue. Yellow restricted this farmer, hopes to put them in a sarcophagus. But blue prevents this. Still, at least will get a shot at connecting to the main field, adding this insurance farmer there. Yellow attacks up top. if they still had another meeple in hand, they could also go for this here, hoping to draw one of the two daggers, of course. Yeah. No, Otto likes this one, and I do as well. It's definitely better than creating a sinister hamster. Even if yellow gets the vanilla and scores a few points, who cares? It's your field. So this is way better than going for the monastery square there. Any restriction of your city with still 2 daggers, I mean, that's the risk of the business here. It's not really a big problem. Yeah, yellow with only 1 meeple in hand leaves a cap open there. And this doesn't look good. They need the dagger now. They need it. They need to score the points and might need to kill this and attack the field at the same time, which would be possible, for example, with a starting tile. Because frankly, at -21, it doesn't look like yellow will be able to outrun the main field by blue. There's still a monastery left. Still 1 vanilla. No road monastery. Yeah, nice restriction by blue. And now will we see a yellow attack over here? I mean, it's their last meeple. You can kill, but attacking with the last one, and you need to score all the points you can get. Not possible, frankly. Not possible. So, wishing game for yellow, curve and road end, monastery, dagger, and maybe straights and curves, or the other curve rather, for blue. Doesn't look good, because even if yellow gets all the pieces they need, blue will get a juicy pieces as well. Oh, and yellow needs the remaining horse as well. Yeah. This doesn't look great. Not at all. Yeah. So, okay. We can scratch this one off the list. 9 points for yellow with 1 move. Blue scores 2 and creates a monastery square for them. Yellow could connect. Could draw both daggers and not go there, but do you really? Nah. You'd close this one if there are still options left to re-attack the field. Over here, for example, would be a nice ninja, unblockable, as the roses are gone. Again, the second time they had to leave a cap out there, and blue immediately got another one to take 4 points. But The score is almost tied. So let's check. We have 6 cities on the field. Closing this one would be a 7th. So closing the city would score 8 city points, 5 road points for yellow. 13, but blue would get a second farmer onto the field. Minus 21, so minus 8 points, but 2 meeples back in hand. Again, with options to attack the field, still attack the field. Yeah, so why not? Yellow killed blue's monastery square, while blue closed their city and added a farmer, which could sneak into the main field as well. Yeah, again, foam only has the 1 meeple, else something like this could be considered. Can't really do anything about this one, except maybe for going here, but this doesn't really help. Yeah, and he goes for the farmer on the left. Kithara gets on the second dagger and might just kill this one, create a connection option, which is blockable, is restrictable. Yet might be the move to take, else we could go for this to limit this square to the same monastery yellow needs to connect anyway. I'm sure he won't close the city, even though it might work. But at 10 tiles remaining, I actually never see him do this. Why risk this? There are still options for your opponent to attack the field. Never give them meeples back. Just kill this. Hope to connect. And in fact, it works out. And then this is game over. Even if the monastery hits immediately. Well, I'm wrong. I have to take that one back. If the monastery would hit immediately, the main field would be tied. And then, of course, there's a chance for yellow to take it over. Foam doesn't connect here because this connection would give, and I think that's their reasoning, would give this chance back to blue to counterattack this. But what does this do? Yeah, I think that's the reason. I mean, if you go here, yeah, you connect, but you're still behind. You need the monastery anyway. But if you get the monastery, it's quite likely blue would get something, some city part, either extender or Dorito, doesn't really matter, and both could connect with the remaining crossroads. So that might be the reason for yellow not to use the curve here, because this would have been the most promising field attack of them all. Nonetheless, blue found another way, snatching a 6-point field, which has also this way into the main field, which is killed now. But it's still too late. This monastery, yeah, it scores the 1 point for this monk, and you get all these cities, but it's just 20 points. And if you're down 31, you do the math. It just isn't enough. Yeah, tough luck. Early limitation to the dagger. Added a second meeple there. And then you just don't get one of them. And frankly, if one would turn up now, it would be too late anyway. So the one thing I'd be curious about is the splitter here. When exactly was this placed? Well, I wouldn't say this one here was blocked, as blue placed this, knowing full well that they might not use the daggers to connect there. So technically, this one was blocked and this one was blocked. I mean, it was blue's choice not to place one of the two daggers they got there. They could have connected, just opted not to. Again, rightfully so. And now it's just dead rubber moves here. Yellow only has one move to take. Blue takes these points even in a way to still be able to add at least one more. So precision, even on the last move, even when it doesn't matter. So either I misspelled there, but I don't think, or they haven't started yet. We'll check for now. Yeah, if you don't get what Juan is talking, in roughly 40 minutes, Otto will play for a Champions League ticket. If you want to watch this match, check out Alexi's stream later on. So let's check. Loose Goose is there and waiting for Bobondi. So looks like Bobondi just didn't turn up. Yep. Not online. So looks like this CR won't be happening, at least not now. Yep. Here's Loose Goose in the chat and confirms that Bobondi seems to be offline. Yeah, I've came to the same conclusion just a few seconds ago. Well, let's check one thing. Somewhere are the... Is it on the overview page? There have to be the... Was it the rules page? Yeah, the warnings. So Bondi didn't have a no-show so far. Although this might not have been updated, I don't know. Yeah, but well then, no loose goose versus Bobondi for now. Let's check for Kithara's next opponent. So Phoam is out of this tournament. Had a chance, but just lost versus Kithara, as we've witnessed, and Kithara, soldiers on, will play Smile in the lower semifinals. Also an interesting match. So 3 minutes thinking time versus 20 minutes thinking time, maybe. We'll see. Kithara, definitely the favorite. Yes, even against Smile, even against a player who's most often solidly rated in the 700s. And if Kithara manages to win this one, he would play against one of these three at the bottom in the lower final. And later on might meet either Bluste or MTU in the consolidated final. So if he wants to win a league stage ticket, he still needs to win 3 more matches. So let's go to the splitter move by yellow. This was that early. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't really look problematic at all. But of course, against Kithara, this move here is just devastating. It's just devastating. I mean, it's almost the worst tile your opponent could have had in hand. I mean, the cow might have been worse. Yeah. This here, of course, happened, and we saw what this one move did to blue's winning chances and to yellow's for that matter. So then we'd have to ask whether connecting over here was the right choice for yellow later on, but that was when there was already some pressure from the bottom in existence. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem with all these meeples on monasteries when they are not clustered. By the way, why was this not clustered over here? Yeah, likely to take away this juicy monastery spot from blue. Even though it only scored 1 point extra for yellow. 7 over here would have been 6 up top. Yeah. What is there to do about this? You could wait for the splitter. But come on, I mean, it's 2 daggers. The chances are great. 3 out of 4 games, you get at least one. Yeah, it might be late in the game, but still, at this point in time, they had 2 meeples in hand. These 2 monasteries, not easy to liberate, but I think likely to be liberated in the next, I don't know, 10, 15 moves. Not that problematic. Yeah, sure, pressure from the left side. This here is not ideal, but if your monk's stuck there, blue's monk is very likely to be stuck as well. So I get that yellow took this one. I mean, you can't really justify waiting for the 50-50 there to happen, and if you do, quite likely blue will do something about it just to take this away, and then your odds to connect here are worse, of course, than just doing it now. So yeah, I get it. But it went downhill from there. I mean, they even did go for this now. So didn't mind getting blocked, and frankly, I'm still not convinced that blue's move here was better than killing yellow immediately. There are still 4 Doritos left. And 3 of them even with a shield. So 2 additional points for your city if you close it with one of them. So looks like they really prioritized adding the insurance farmer, which they did. Yeah, an interesting choice. Not mine though. I would have gone for this block, as this is not just a block of this one here. It could also extend into a block of this city. Again, there's only 1 splitter left, and this might become a ruin, or you might attack this one, for example, like this, after the splitter is gone. With the splitter still in the deck, I'm quite unlikely to use this option to attack, as this one here definitely is dead, as there's only 1 splitter left. And you can't use a splitter here and there anymore. Yep. So, anything any one of you would like to check out again? Maybe the end game of the first one, right? Because I don't think we need. Well, this here was still instructional, so this option was, of course, there just to go for the retro up top. Still 3 remaining. But this added volatility, when you have the quite likely biggest feature in the end of the game under your control, that's the main field, and have at least a temporary meeple majority Y at volatility. This here gives you 2 outs to close this one and get this monk back, also adding 7 points to your field. And you still have at least 4 caps over here, plus the 2 vanillas would result in a 6, and in some cases you might even be able to get away with using an extender and another cap there, as there are not many immediate attacking pieces left. Yeah, downside is there as well. Obstruction from the top, but even then you'd still have 2 daggers left to close it. So yeah, I still like loose move here like this, and it worked out Like a charm. Okay, so then let's take a look at first game again. End game. So where are we? We are at yellow killed blue's options to attack the field. Again, still not sure why blue didn't go for this option. Might be because they hadn't the perfect tile in hand to execute this. So after this move, blue had the straight and connected on the left. Did go for the road, which is totally fine. It's upside right there. Curve 5 points. Rose 3 points. Why not? And it's yellow with their curve. So if someone can help me, I'm still pretty sure either continuing their road or killing the square would have been rather sound choices. So let me calculate this again. So they are at +4. They get 1 point for this road option. Which options does blue still have? This one here, right? Both Doritos are with a shield, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, all three on the board are without. So 12-point city right there. And in that case, yellow would get the remaining caps. So 12 points for blue, 1 for yellow. Let's say they get the cap here to close their city, which is 4 for the city, 1 for the road piece. So 6, and then they only need to score, for example, these 4 points if the city stopped there. And that's more than enough to win this game. So doesn't look like the double Dorito city on the left side taken by blue was a threat. How about we just exchange the draw of these pieces? So giving the Doritos to yellow and the caps to blue doesn't make any difference. Then yellow takes 12 points and blue doesn't have the upside of being able to close the city. They could attack the field and take it over, but it's worth just 12 points. That's the same as the city, and it would also supply road points to yellow. So, well, what's the worst that could happen for yellow here? Blue going here and connecting with the Dorito. Yeah, might be, but that would be 5 road points for yellow. 12 points from the field to blue. Yellow already has 4 on the board, and then they only need to take these 5 points with the other Dorito, and in the end just score, I don't know, 3 points on the left once they get this meeple back. So also definitely enough points to win this one. Yeah. Well, frankly, to me, it doesn't look like there was any downside by this move here. So I don't see why yellow didn't go for this. Maybe it was just the time which someone had mentioned in the chat. So let's check the time here. Who was black? Black was Kithara, right? Yeah. So red is, well, they had a minute 30 here, and then we're down. Yeah, this must have been the curve move, right? So last move, penultimate, and this here must have been the curve move. Yeah. So from 1:33 to 6 seconds, 90 seconds to figure all these permutations out is tough, to say the least. And therefore, they just dumped the curve. And this is a case of, not sure if I should attribute this, but I think it was Alexi who, let's go back to this move, who said, if you're under time pressure, take 5 to 10 seconds, find a good move, a move that's okay. And if you don't find anything better, just execute this move just before you run out of time. So don't go too deep at first. Just pick something that looks okay, which, if you have a lot of experience, you should be able to find something that looks good from the get-go. And in this case, for example, let's go to the curve move again. Yeah, scoring animations, how I like them. In this case, for example, I'm pretty sure that yellow knew that this was a chance to kill this ninja. Quite likely they knew this curve was the last straight was drawn. So this here could have been your go-to move if you don't find anything better. But it wasn't. They just dumped it over here. They didn't go for this, as it's clearly an invitation to blue to attack the field. Although it doesn't matter. Blue could have attacked the field with any of the 4 remaining pieces. All are curvies, or to be considered curvies for this purpose here. So quite frankly, it just doesn't matter whether you add the curve here or not. And if you want to play it safe, could have gone for this option. The problem, of course, being then blue would have had a shot, right? Have I already considered this? Have I? I can't remember. So Stop me, please, if I have already talked in detail about this move. So blue's best chance would be then to take these 12 points. And in this case, where yellow doesn't get a second meeple back, it looks like these 12 points are indeed enough. Yellow would, in some cases, if yellow gets the dagger on their next turn, they'd score 4. No, in all cases, actually, right? Yeah, in all cases. If yellow scores these 4 points on the next turn, they could get 4 with the rose on their last turn. But then the game would be tied, and even though their starting player advantage is gone, they'd still lose the game as they are technically the starting player, and a tied game goes to blue. So this move here actually would have given this move would have given a chance to blue by closing this 12-point city on the left. Unlikely to happen, but the chance is still there. You have a 50-50 to draw one of the Doritos on your next turn. Then it's 2/3 for yellow to draw one of these, and 1/2 for you to get the remaining Doritos. So 1 in 6. Yeah, 1 in 6 chance. So if yellow had blocked blue's option to attack the field, they would have given a 1 in 6 chance to their opponent to win the game. At least considering only the city. So this here might have been better. How about, hi Helge, by the way, how about if blue grabs city on top right with city cap? This one here, right? Yeah, there is nothing else. I don't think this works. Because it just scores less points. Well, let's take the dagger. So yellow doesn't get their meeple back. Then the city scores 10 points straight up. It's not blockable. Even if blue would use it, won't be blockable if blue would use the road there. The rose with everything over here. So like this. So in this case, blue needs to draw the dagger. Yeah, they need to draw the dagger if they get this wasn't what Helge had proposed, but just to be precise here, if they would use a Dorito there, anything would block immediately. And therefore, they would need to draw the dagger. And later on, one of the 2 remaining road Doritos. So getting the dagger is 1 in 4. And then you have 1 in 3, your opponent getting the rose. So that's a 1 in 12 chance. Plus it's you getting the dagger, your opponent getting one of the Doritos, and you getting the other Dorito. That's a 2 in 12. So this here is 25%, 3 in 12, right? And then it's straight up 10 points. Your opponent gets... what do they get? What do they need? They need 7 points. Is there any way for them to score 7 points? Yes, there is. 2 points over here. Let me switch to the shielded tiles, then it is better. This here would be 8 points for yellow. But only if yellow gets the rose immediately and the Dorito on their last turn. So this then would be the prime application for my newest tool, but frankly, I won't use this now. I'll show you. I have this noted down, so I'll do a video about it. Yeah, so bottom line, even if I keep repeating myself, this here wouldn't have been a good move for yellow. This here would have, even if it looks counterintuitive, this would have been a winning move for yellow. And then, okay, they put their curve here. And after Kithara's attack, yellow is still at +4. The only chance for Kithara to connect here is the dagger, adding 12 points to their score, but 2 to yellow, plus this meeple back. So the difference is 10 points, minus 4 on the board, 6. And therefore, yellow only needs to score 6 points. And, well, they have this one in hand. 4 points. They get this one, 8 points, as the city closes for 12. Plus a farmer, as Otto correctly mentioned earlier. And then it would be just a win for them to the tune of, I don't know, 15 plus 2 plus 4 minus 12. Looks like 9 points to me. Okay, enough for now. Else I'll be running into a Lexi stream. So I'll see you later on in an hour. If Otto and... oh, it eludes me now. Otto is playing against whom? Phosphate. Yeah, if Otto and Phosphate are done with after 2 games, I'll see you later. Else I expect you to follow Alexi and rewatch my stream of Jose and Tomaszek, who will be playing for a Champions League ticket as well at 16 UTC. Okay, folks, check. Yeah. Quite frankly, Helge, this was a completely interesting endgame, and no matter which move, I think just the dump of yellow's curve was annoying, and it would have been a highlight if yellow had seen the city on the left, this one here, which they didn't. They went for this one, which well, still was a 100% win. They are at +8. They get 2 from the road. Blue gets 12, so it's a net 10-point move for blue, and then yellow just has to take 4 points there, over here, or even 3 points on the left side. 4 points, sorry. They get the Dorito right, so 4 points over here or 5 points there. All would have been enough after blue's connection, so it actually didn't matter, and all the folks who said it was a 100% win for yellow were right. So sorry, Rui, again, and MTU was right as well. So I'm out of here, folks. See you later or on another day. Bye bye. Thanks for staying until the end.